Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode we are talking about partition. And when we say the word partition, most of us think about the India-Pakistan partition of 1947. It's very striking why we think about that, because India had a lot of partitions. It's not just India and Pakistan. And the book that we are reviewing today talks exactly about this. It is Shattered Lands by Sam Dalrymple. Yes, he's the son of William Dalrymple, and this book talks about 5 partitions and the making of modern Asia. This is the book right here. It is a fresh release in non-fiction and absolutely wonderful cover. I had the pleasure and honor to get an advance copy of this book. Sam was very kind, and so was Harper Collins, its publisher, to send an advance copy for a review. And I read this book, and we're going to talk more about this in this video. The main purpose of this book, which I felt, is to redefine the idea of partition, because we see partition as a single Indo-Pak event of 1947, and it is not the case. It is simply not the case, because there are also 5 major disintegrations between 1937 to 1971 that took place. 5 partitions that actually shaped the modern South Asia subcontinent right now. And it is also to restore the forgotten narratives, because in the textbooks of history, we taught about India Pakistan. We also talk a bit and minorly about India Bangladesh, but we don't talk about Burma, we don't talk about Aden, Junagadh, Hyderabad, Bangladesh, etc. So all of these shaped South Asia today, and this book challenges the linear textbook history by uncovering slow burning political and cultural narratives. It also aims to correct the cultural amnesia that we all have about many identities, about regions, about populations that have been erased by the mainstream national histories. This book offers a multi-angled lens. It is not India-centric, it's not Pakistan-centric, it is deeply regional. And it shows the actual consequences that happened in Burma, Aden, Bengal, Hyderabad, East Pakistan. And Sam Dalrymple is not nostalgic about it. He's actually trying to balance emotional sensitivity. He portrays leaders as flawed humans, like Gandhi, Nehru, Jinnah. They all are humans, and they all make mistakes, and they refuse to turn them into binaries. The book also calls attention to colonial British manipulations post-independence, regional nationalisms, and forgotten separatist movements like the one in Nagas, the Mizos, the Baloch. The Baloch independence, however, it was there. It is very prevalent in the news these days when Balochistan declared independence from Pakistan. A few insights of this book that I would love to share with my viewers. Number 1 being the first partition wasn't in 1947. It began with Burma and Aden. Aden is the present-day Yemen, breaking away in 1937. That is like a decade from 1947. The forgotten Indian exodus from Burma and its impact on the Indian culinary history. So if you don't know why I say culinary history, is because the birth of Rava Idli happened due to the rice supplies being cut from Burma. And these people, in one restaurant, Mawali Kitchen, I think in Bangalore, I might be wrong with the pronunciation, but Mawali, a restaurant in Bangalore, they substituted rice with semolina, and that's how Rava Idli was given birth to. Direct Action Day in a lot of books have been termed as riot, but it's more like a prelude to psychological warfare and among communities, right? India's control over the Persian Gulf presidency. We talk about the princely states and the fall of Hyderabad. We also show how it just shows that nation making was not something to celebrate. The independence was not something to celebrate, but the entire nation making was a very complex and often very violent process. Talking about the writing style of Shattered Lands, it's quite similar to how William Dalrymple writes, and it's narrative driven. It is vivid, it is cinematic. Sometimes you would feel like you're reading a historical document. I personally love that kind of writing style. It is seamless, it blends archives, letters, oral histories together. It is rich in symbolism, it is emotionally immersive. So the writing style is somewhat very similar to how William Dalrymple writes. In Shattered Lands, here are a few human stories that we get to witness. Number 1 being the Sayasan rebellion. It erupts in colonial Burma not just as a political revolt, but as a movement of barefoot farmers who rise with fury and hope, and an early glimpse of grassroots resistance that is formed. It echoes across South Asia. Their chants, their hungers, and their death are brought to life with intimacy. The book's power also lies in these micro histories and micro human stories that are being talked about. We feel that ache in Jinnah's daughter Dina, who refuses to migrate to Pakistan, choosing instead to stay in Bombay. She writes a letter to her father that she won't be able to join him in Pakistan. That was a very, very heartbreaking thing for Jinnah, and a choice that I think symbolizes not just the ruptures in between nations but also between families. We also talk about Jawaharlal Nehru and Edwina Mountbatten, who was the wife of the last viceroy of India. There are exchange letters between Nehru and Mountbatten which reveal that there was some uneven intimacy under the shadow of empire between them. Let's also talk about the masses, just the numbers, the 6 lakh Indians fleeing Burma. They are focal points, the survivors of the Bengal famine, the women being raped and left behind during direct action day, the families who buried their jewelry, their golds in the earth before fleeing from Pakistan. Each becomes a very haunting presence in the narrative, and even the objects speak. We talk about the Mohenjo-daro necklace, which was split into halves so that India could take 4 beads and Pakistan could take 4 beads during the Indo-Pak divide, and it became a symbol of shared heritage. A train full of corpses, a temple disassembled and smuggled, a renamed refugee hiding behind a new identity. All these things become poetic, become symbolic, but it's also very painful at the same time. If you're someone who would love to know about partition, about history, concerned about India's history, you should definitely check out this newly launched book, Shattered Lands by Sam Dalrymple. Sam Dalrymple also runs this Substack, which I will provide the link in the description box below. He writes amazing blogs and essays there. I have myself read a lot of them. This book has very interesting photographs as well. I would like to show some of them. So amazing photos, good photos with good description, and of course you might see my notes, some of the lines that I underlined while reading the book. I enjoyed it thoroughly. There was a vast section of references if you might want to check them out in the appendix area. So 430 pages book, and some 30 or 25-30 odd pages of photos as well. So if you are a history lover, if you want to reread the Indian history without any narratives, without any agenda, without something that is not taught in the school or college, go read Shattered Lands by Sam Dalrymple. I'll see you in the next one, guys. If you like my content, please give it a like, share, subscribe. Thank you.